Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mike again with TTK Small Engine Repair. Wanted to touch base with you today. If you're experiencing issues with your cutting teeth getting hot or starting to blue when you're cutting, I'm going to give you some ideas that will hopefully help some of you out anyway. Now, understand, I'm not a professional at this. I'm just like the general Joe. I do have a couple different grinders, as everybody is aware, but the one thing I do want to do, whatever product I put out for my customers, I want it done and done right. Starting with the chains, obviously we all know they have to be cleaned. We want to get the oils, the saps, sawdust, bark off from them. I have a large ultrasonic cleaner sitting over there, that silver thing with the blue label. Now I will use 3 parts water to a gallon of degreaser. That's my initial clean. And because I was running into issues burning or getting the cutting teeth hot, I'm going to a second step. That second step is I mix a little bit of water in the bottom of that bucket with some Dawn dish soap. Once they come out of the ultrasonic cleaner, I'll take them outside, rinse them off with a hose, bring them into that bucket, which contains water and Dawn dish soap. I'll let them soak in there 5-10 minutes. Then I'll take them out and rinse them off again, blow them off with air. Now, my stones typically would be hanging below those chains or where those chains are. But some days it gets awful dirty, smoky, foggy in here. So even though I try to keep my grinding stones clean, generally I'll use a brake fluid because that does not contain any petroleum products. You don't want to use any cleaner if you're using grinders that contain any type of petroleum product, because petroleum products and grinding stones on steel, you're going to heat those cutting teeth up. You will blow them, you will burn them, and you don't want to do that. All these teeth, I've already cut this chain. This thing came out sweet. But I took all my cutting stones. After I was done cleaning my chains, I put all my cutting stones in the Dawn dish soap, let those soak for 10-15 minutes, and I took them all out and rinsed them off. And right now I'm letting them dry to get any oil or residuals off from these stones. Then obviously I use the stone to clean up the surface and the side that's going into that cutting tooth with my stone here, and I do that after each chain. So when I'm done with this chain, which I am, I will smooth this stone back out, clean that edge up just a little bit, and that should help reduce getting your cutting tooth hot or turning it blue. Because I ran into problems last week where just about every chain I hit, I was having issues, and I finally swapped and put a new stone on, and my issues cleared up. So that told me my stones are probably dirty, but I also want to go the extra length to make sure I didn't leave any oils, sap or anything on that cutting tooth. So that's why I'm going to start using Dawn dish soap and water to ensure that I've got everything off from these chains, and go from there. The other thing too is on the Oregon grinders, you may have to make a couple different cuts, meaning I'll cut this tooth once, spin my chain, go to the next tooth. Once I'm done with this chain right here, then I may, depending on how that side cutter looks and how I look right there on that bird's beak and that top plate, I may turn this in a little bit and make another quick cut. Now, one thing you don't want to do is I've seen videos of people telling you how to use the Oregon chain grinder. We're going to start this up. The one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to do this, because that's keeping the grinding stone on that cutting tooth too long. It will heat it up. Typically what I do, I'll hit it, pause for a moment, hit it again, pause for a moment. Now you notice when I hit the bottom of that chain, you're not seeing a lot of sparks, because on the side of your Oregon you have a stop. Use that stop. If you're not, you're driving that cutting stone into the very bottom of that cutting tooth, you will get that tooth hot. So use your stop. And typically you're only going to take off just a smidgen. So when you make your adjustment here to cut this chain, you're not taking off a lot. Don't be concerned with getting that chain sharp the first time through. If you have to take a second time through, do that, because it's going to reduce getting that tooth hot or damaging that cutting tooth. And you can see, I think you can see, yeah, I got a nice bird beak on that. This chain turned out good. So I've eliminated my cutting tooth getting hot by doing a better job cleaning my chains, once with the ultrasonic cleaner, and then water with Dawn dish soap, rinsing them off, blowing them off. Now when I'm done with the chain, and actually we can do that right now if I can get this box out of here. Hang on. I don't like messes, so basically what I'll do is take my chain off once I'm done, and I am done. I like to use Deep Creep. Seafoam Deep Creep penetrating oil on my chains. And that way they don't rust while they're waiting to be used for the customer. And I'll generally spray both sides of those. If it's just small quantities of chains for customers, I actually have plastic containers that I'll roll my chains up, spray them off, stick them in there, then send the customer home with that little bucket. But I have a large quantity of chains here, so I'm not going to do that. But anyway, that's the gist of that. Keep your cutting stones clean. Use your blocks to smooth them out after each chain. And if you have to, set that cutting stone in some Dawn dish soap and water. Obviously, take them out, rinse them off thoroughly, and then let them dry out. This one here, I've already had it in a bucket of water and Dawn dish soap, and it's dry. Those are just helpful tips to hopefully help reduce burning your cutting teeth or damaging your cutting teeth. Cleanliness is key. That chain has got to be cleaned, and your cutting wheels have to be chained or cleaned, and you'll be all set. And like I said, if you have to go through a chain twice to cut the teeth, do it. Customer's going to be happy. You're going to be happier with the end result and how she performs when you get her out in the woods. Again, like I said, I'm not a professional at this. I do a lot of chains for Hinkle's Tree Service out of Mendon, Michigan. And so I got to be very attentive to what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. And I still don't have it down pat yet. So, but hopefully these helpful tips will help you out and avoid issues that I've been experiencing. The 620, I love this. As you've seen in other videos, I put a forward reverse switch on it. That way I'm cutting my chain identical from the left tooth to the right tooth. Because originally with the Oregon, it would, shoot, I should have left the chain up here. We'll quick like get one up there. Feed it underneath there. Typically, the Oregon, when you buy it, has one way. That wheel is spinning toward the back of your unit. So that's fine on what I call the right side cutting tooth, but on the left side cutting tooth, that grinding wheel's cutting out, which causes your side plate, get in here, causes that side plate, leaves burrs, everything else on there. It can also get that cutting tooth hotter when you're cutting. So I put a forward reverse switch on my unit. I took it down to Kalamazoo Electric here, and gosh, I want to say $100, $125. They put that switch in for me. So now on this tooth here, my wheel is spinning toward me as I'm standing in front of the unit, and the wheel is spinning on the right tooth in toward the back of the machine on the right tooth. So I'm cutting that tooth, both teeth identical now, whereas before I wasn't. One was being cut in, the other was being cut outward. That left tooth was being cut outward, causing burrs, not getting that tooth as sharp as what it could. So again, just some other helpful tips there. If you own an Oregon, I highly recommend taking it in and having them put a toggle switch in so you've got forward reverse. They don't have to do anything else to the motor at all. It's just a matter of putting that switch in, a little bit of wiring, and boom, you're in business. So that's what I've got today. I just wanted to share that with you. I hope that helps you guys out there. Like my videos, subscribe to them, and we'll try to keep producing videos as we go along. I did want to mention, I live in Paw Paw, Michigan. So if there's anybody in Michigan out there, I have I'm keeping it covered now. I have a Symington chain grinder for sale. It does come with a light already attached to it. I've got extra stones with it. I'm wanting to get a Sylvie, so I need to get rid of this one first before I spend any more money. And a lot of guys like these. I don't, for various reasons. The Symington generally sells for right around $1,400 at Madison and more at your other places, plus any shipping if you don't live within a location where Madison's at, and tax. I'm only asking $11.50 for that. That is firm. You don't have to pay tax. You don't have to pay shipping, obviously, because you're going to pick it up. But I do have that Symington chain grinder for sale, and I think I've got 3 or 4 extra discs to go with it. So anyway, everybody, hey, appreciate you viewing our videos, and hit the like button down there. If you have any questions or concerns, leave your comments and I'll try to respond to those. Everybody take care. God bless. Bye-bye.